Hello, everybody. I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone, along with Alex Stossel, and we are live on the Powerskateshow Saturday night special with a very special guest, Charlie Cerrato, live here for an interview. USA hockey player, and thank you so much, Charlie, for coming on tonight. It is an absolute pleasure to have you as our first interviewee here on the Powerskate Show.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, and how's it going, guys? I'm Alex Stossel, Maryland native. Me and Charlie both from Maryland. Welcome to a very special episode here on the Powerskate Show. First interview with Charlie Cerrato, from the USA Hockey under 17 or 18?
17, yeah.
17. Here in USA Hockey, and you know what, Charlie, as a joke, me and Grant were supposed to have Rob Ray from the Buffalo former Sabres enforcer, but he ignored us sadly. But today's your lucky day, my friend. And with that, how we doing, Charlie?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Amazing.
great.
We got some amazing questions for you, Charlie. Like I've said from backstage before we start, we have an interesting question that we're pretty much gonna ask future guys in our future interviews. It's gonna be an interesting one, which I just start out of my head. So before we start this interview, I ask you guys to please hit the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated to the last to us. That's gonna make us do more podcast videos or interviews in the near future. And without further ado, let's do some quick advertising, and then we'll get this thing started. So with that, for all our Powerskate Show buddies, follow the Powerskate Show for daily hockey news. We will get to all the topics on our next show, and it'll be good. A certain nostalgia of the week, you know.
That's right. You got our nostalgia of the week already.
Yes. And for that, you guys are required to follow Franchise Sports News. He does hockey, baseball, football, and some collab for me and Powerskate. So yeah, make sure to give a follow. And while Charlie is here, make sure to follow the U.S. National Team Development Program for any interesting news or like some game days and lots of good things here for the U.S. program. So make sure to go follow what I mentioned, or the links will be in the description below. And with that, let's get this started. All right, Graham, would you like to start first?
Sure. So I guess to kind of ease into this interview, we're gonna start it off with we're gonna start off with a little fun question. So Charlie, what was your first ever hockey gift you received as a Christmas present?
Oh, that might be a tough one. I started at such a young age. So, I was gifted. I think I was 3 or 4 years old. My cousins, my family's from Minnesota. So my cousins, I think, gifted me an old pair of hockey gloves. And me being so small, I had these giant gloves, with these little hands. But I think that was my first gift, growing up.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I would have, I think that's very cool that you started at such a young age. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's just hockey was always a background with my family. So I thought it was, it's always best to start at a young age, but it really doesn't matter. I think you can get into it however you want, but being at a young age is always the best.
Nice.
All right, I'll go. Since I'm a Maryland kid who's been living the DMV my whole life, what's it like playing in the U.S. National Team Development Program as a Maryland-born player?
It's new. Like if you're from Minnesota or Michigan or Massachusetts, and you make the U.S. national team, it's like it's a big deal, right? Everyone knows hockey. And, when you're being from Maryland, I mean, hockey's not huge down there. Teams are scarce. Not many kids play. Not many kids know about it, especially the NHL. I mean, it's kind of just like, I mean, I guess you can say underplayed, being the accomplishment it is. I think it's good, though. I think it's new. I think it's great for the game that, kids are coming from new spots, everywhere. I mean, we have a kid on our team from Dallas. That's very, not a big hockey spot, not a hot spot. But I think, as the game grows, and I think you're going to see more kids start coming from places like Maryland or the southern states that I think it's great for the game.
Yeah, and also one notable Maryland-born player, which Jared Tenorti, yes, like you guys may say like he's from like wherever Mark plays for, excluding the Capitals, but per NHL.com, he's from Millersville, Maryland. So like we kind of have guys. I think you're the second Maryland-born player out of play for a U.S. program.
I didn't know that, but that's a pretty cool stat.
Yeah. That's the only thing I know. I'm not sure if it's true, but Tenorti and you are the only guys who I know who play for the U.S. program.
Yeah, that's wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you don't see too many kids coming out of here, get the opportunity to play for them, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, I'll go another, and then Grant, you'll go. So, pretty much, you've been drafted by the London Knights in the OHL last summer. Have you had the option to sign for London or go to the U.S. program? And where do you see your future for your hockey career?
It was so it kind of hockey is weird how it works, with the stuff, and obviously you have the choice of you can go the USHL, the NTDP route, or you can go obviously the major junior with the CHL or OHL, or the team you get drafted by. But it was kind of like a thing. I already had made the program. I had signed my contract, and then the draft was afterwards. So they already knew I made a 2-year commitment to play at the program. So, I mean, London was kind of just some guys. It's different for everyone. Like you see Patrick Kane played 2 years at the program, then went on to London for a year before he went to the NHL. I mean, you see different guys. You can choose between college and major juniors, but it's really they drafted me for the reason, after my 2 years here is, I mean, it's possible that London could be an option after your 2 years here, because obviously, I mean, you don't see there's not too many Jack Hugheses after your 2 years here. You go straight to the NHL. You always play college hockey or junior hockey for 2-3 years, so it's just another option out there, and it's always a good one. I mean, London's it's a great franchise. It's a big one too. So it was cool, but I mean, Michigan's not. It's an amazing option too. So we'll see when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and a little bit quite similar. So when you got drafted by the Knights, had they say like, okay, like if we make the playoffs or the Memorial Cup, would they can pretty much like squeeze you in for ice time?
And it's not like that. It's weird with the whole contracts thing and the CHL, because there's a rule once you play in the Canadian Hockey League, it's technically professional hockey. You get
Yeah.
paid monthly. I mean, it might not be a lot, but so you can't play collegiate hockey out there. You can't play college hockey. So once you step on the ice up there, you can't play college hockey anymore. You're no longer allowed to based on the rules. So it's a sticky situation with all that stuff. So usually, you play for the program, you play only for them, and you don't really go back and forth between, American juniors and Canadian juniors like that. It just doesn't happen. Solely for the reason for college hockey.
All right, and Grant, next for you.
Well, I guess kind of taking a step back, heading in from the college world and obviously getting drafted by the London Knights of the OHL. What was your favorite high school hockey tournament?
I mean, high school was always, it was always weird because, I mean, obviously I spent my freshman year at Fulton High School. I didn't,
I go to Bel Air.
That's fun. But, I didn't play high school hockey really. There's really no, I mean, it's big, but it's not as big as like, the bigger states like Minnesota or the Boston, the Massachusetts, or, like those type of states. So, I mean, I really never played high school hockey. It was more focusing on the midgets or the midget level hockey. So I played for a team up in Philly for a while, like when I was younger, and then obviously last year I moved out to Detroit, played for Honey Baked. I mean, probably the biggest tournament other than because I'm still in high school. My last couple years was definitely nationals. Last year we got the opportunity to go there and we ended up winning, and it was a great experience. I mean, it's one of a kind, really. It was amazing.
Well, that's great.
Mhm. All right, Grant. I guess you can go for another round.
Sure. So while I was watching a little highlight reel of yours, I noticed that you scored a goal at the Amalie Arena, which is, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning arena. So I guess, can you describe the atmosphere playing at an NHL arena at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, you get the opportunity here and there where tournaments are. You play in NHL arenas. Like, I mean, I did that Mites on Ice when I was like, 5 years old at the Caps game. That was awesome. But playing at arenas like that, it's really, I mean, it's cool seeing around, but it's empty, so it's just you kind
Hmm.
of take it in. I mean, it was actually really hot in there. We were down in Florida, so it was pretty hot in there. It was not too fun. But just playing in those NHL ranks are awesome. We got the opportunity to play up there. I've played in the Wild rank before. It's cool when you get the opportunity to play there. It's just really surreal. Seeing like you watch on TV and then the next day you're playing there. It's kind of like, oh my god. But it's awesome.
Yeah, like were you sitting there like, oh my goodness, Steven Stamkos, skated in this spot, or Marty St. Louis, or whoever Lightning legend you want to point out there, does that stuff come to mind?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, maybe not during the game because you're too focused on on
Right.
playing, but that pregame when you're out there taping your stick or getting focused, you kind of like it's always in the back of your head. Like all the guys that have come through here with the NHL careers they've had, it's really just amazing.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um,
Sounds like a
so
great
I'll
experience.
yeah. So I'll throw a slider on this one. Um, so this year you're now facing USHL, which like the high caliber U.S. hockey league, like let's say the Muskegon Lumberjacks, the Youngstown Phantoms, etc. What were the advantage to your game that you're facing like 2, 3, or 4 years older than you?
I mean, it was definitely tough. Like, I mean, the beginning of this year, our first exhibition game, we were actually playing the U18 team, and I broke my collarbone, so I had missed the first 3 months of the year, so it was tough. But I got back about midway through December, so not too like a month ago, not too long ago. I've got about I think it's 8 or 9 games under my belt now, and it's the difference between playing midget hockey like for Honeybake when you're playing against Chicago Mission or kids your own age. It's crazy, and then you go to playing against grown men. It's really challenging. You really have to get used to it, and the game just it's at so much of it's at such a faster pace, and you just have to think quicker, make quicker decisions, and smarter decisions. But it really does take some getting used to. I mean, our team is. I mean, we struggled, but we're 16-year-olds playing against guys that could be 20, 21. So it's tough. It takes some getting used to. But I feel like you know me personally, I'm starting to get my feet back under me playing against these guys, and I think our team's getting back to it now. So I think it should be interesting the rest of the year, and especially next year once you get a year under your belt. I think it'll be a lot better next year, but it definitely is challenging getting adjusted to the pace of the game. It really is.
Yeah. So I know that which I didn't write, but I'll just like squeeze it in a bit. So I've seen that you've been working out with Mark Bradley, who's like one of the head trainers of the Arena Club. Has he pretty much have you like rehab down in Maryland or during your injury? Like what do you do
No, I
basically?
mean during my injury, I stayed up here and rehabbed. I mean, I just got here, and I mean Mark is an unbelievable trainer, and I owe so much to him. I love that guy. If he watches it, Mark, I love you so much, man. Like he's like my brother. But I just stayed up here for those 3 months. The trainers up here and the doctors are so amazing. And I mean, rehab couldn't have gone better. I got back, I mean, I guess a week sooner than expected. So all was great. And, collarbone feels good. So everything went well. But, man, shout out to Mark. I love that guy.
Awesome. I'll send that video to him for that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Please do.
yes. All right, Grant. Since I threw a slider, how about you go?
All right. Well, I think that's fantastic. At such a young age, you already have a favorite trainer, and that's definitely important aspect when practicing. But have you ever trained with any current or past NHL or AHL players?
I mean, skating on the ice, off ice, not really. I mean, you don't see a lot of guys. I mean, Varga, he plays for Ottawa. I get to, work on and off the ice with him, but not a lot of pro guys come in and out of Maryland, especially over at Ice World where we skate at. So it's kind of, but when I come up here over the summer, like the guy I live, my billet dad, the one I live with, we skate with him. He gets a lot of pro guys out, a lot of, collegiate guys, a couple guys from Notre Dame, a couple guys from the AHL. So I mean, he gets a couple NHL guys too, and it's great working with them. The speed they play at and just everything they do, it's like a really good learning experience off of them.
Yeah. All right. So another question that I didn't even write because I'm too excited for this opportunity basically. First off, congrats on your commitment to Michigan.
Thank you.
As you're gonna start in the 2023-24 season. For me, I'm gonna be in my freshman year of college. Um,
Yep.
we all know the craziness of Michigan, Matty Beniers, Owen Power, Ken Johnson, Luke Hughes, etc. Have you met any of these guys? Like when you got committed, have you met any of the Michigan players that I mentioned, or who do you think that you may play with these guys while you touch Michigan ice?
Yeah. So before you commit, you get the offers you have, the places you get to go on visits. So when I took my official to Michigan probably about like 2 or 3 weeks before I committed, and yeah, I got I mean Matty Beniers, I met Owen Power, I met Luke Hughes, you meet all these guys, Brisson. I mean, I met everyone on the team. You kind of go through a day in the life. They take you around, and it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, every single one of those guys was amazing. I mean, Maddie and Brendan Brisson, they were the nicest people in the world, and I mean, I thank them so much for that experience they gave me. And I mean, I just saw myself there. It was great. So, but playing with them, it's weird because college you can leave, after your first year, second year. Obviously, they chose to stay, but I mean, I almost could guarantee you that most of those guys will be gone after this year. I mean, they're at such a high level. I mean, there were such high draft picks, Owen Power and Matty Beniers and all those first rounders they got. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity to play with them in college. Maybe if I'm lucky enough to play professional hockey in the future, maybe with them one day, but definitely not in college. They'll be gone, long gone by the time I get there.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm excited that the guys who you've mentioned, Mag Beniers, I'm excited to see what he's gonna pull up for the Seattle Kraken. Cause like I'll be honest with you, Seattle is a brand new team, which we all know. Matty Beniers, I would say that he's gonna be a good rebuilding piece. Like yes, they're a young team, but like he can grab the momentum within the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're definitely gonna. He's such a high level player, and the impact he has on Michigan, though. I think Seattle will definitely be building around him. I mean, they're kind of struggling right now, and he'll definitely be one of their big building pieces. He'll be a great player out there.
Yeah, and I mentioned about like you said going to the pros one day. And according to Elite Prospects, you're on the top 10 notable prospects coming from the 2023 NHL Draft. Like, how are you handling this year and getting prepared for next year? This despite the collarbone injury, basically.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was not the start I wanted, being hurt all year, but it's kind of it's a 2 year process. I still have another year before I get drafted, so there's still a year and a half in between then, and so much can happen. But I'm really just focused on getting better each day, getting back from the injury, getting back to being myself, and hopefully have a really good summer and work really hard and have a good next year. And the draft will take care of itself as long as you play good and you win games. I think the draft it'll take care of itself. And wherever I end up, if I'm lucky enough, I'll be so grateful.
Yeah.
So I
Great.
know that
Yeah,
you
you
are.
can do your 2 questions if you would like.
All right, yeah. So I know you're mentioning about like how thankful you would be, playing in the NHL, and obviously, I'm sure for you that would be a dream come true, as it would be for anybody. But when was the moment you realized that being a potential draft pick in next year's draft became a possibility?
I mean, it's just being a possibility. You grow up and you play. I've been playing, the AAA hockey. You've been playing against all these guys your whole life. You really, it doesn't really hit you until maybe, junior hockey when you actually make this team. Like maybe when you're younger, you think it, but every year as you just climb the ranks and ranks and you get older and closer to that draft, it changes so much. The game changes, guys change, some guys will improve, some guys will fall off. It's just, staying up to that. And I don't know if it's really hit me yet, but being able, I guess, playing at the program, they have that history of getting guys drafted and making the pros. So hopefully, just keep working and hopefully it'll happen one day. But I don't really know if it's hit me yet. It's kind of still surreal.
And I know that you have also played 3 games in the under 17 4 tournaments in Slovakia. Can you kind of explain that experience? I know you were explaining playing in an NHL arena or in different types of tournaments, but how was it venturing out of the United States or Canada or in that general area and really go to a different continent and kind of play a hockey tournament over there?
Yeah, I mean it's great when you get to represent your country on the international stage, but it was definitely different. I mean, I didn't get to go on the first trip. They went to Finland, I think, like over Thanksgiving break. So I didn't get to go on that one because obviously because of my collarbone. But it was a great experience. Still like first couple weeks off the injury, still getting back to it. But just playing out there was amazing. The opportunity to play. Obviously, we didn't have the result we wanted against Russia, but the opportunity to play different countries was amazing. And the rank we played at, the history that rank had, and it was different because of COVID. I mean, you had to be careful with all the COVID restrictions and stuff, but it was still amazing. It was a great experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So as we pretty much roll along your USA hockey journey, what is your favorite place around the USA hockey arena or in Detroit? Like let's say like for example like Chicago like Soldier Field or the Windy City like the towers and all of that. What's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
favorite? Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, where USA Hockey Arena is placed in Plymouth and where I live in South Line and where the billet families are and where all of our teammates live, we don't really get to go downtown much. Actually, I went with my billet dad like a couple months ago. Went to a Red Wings game. They played Edmonton. That was, I think, one of my first times actually in downtown Detroit, and I've lived here for almost 2 years. So it's kind of crazy, but there's Michigan. It's awesome up here. Obviously, we get more snow than Maryland, but you know, it's a little bit different here and there, but it just the state. I mean, obviously, I love it. I'm going to be here for the next year and however many years after that at Michigan. So I mean, it's different. I don't know if I have one particular spot. I guess I can say the rank because I'm there all the time, but it's definitely different and I love it. Like I call it home.
Yeah, and also since you mentioned about the snow, um, last time I checked for the weather here in Maryland, we're expecting to have snow on back-to-back days tomorrow and Monday.
Yeah. I actually talked to my parents about that. They said that, but I think we were getting snow. I don't know if we have any on the ground right now, but it's definitely cold enough, and I think we're getting some in the next few days here. But we've definitely had our fair share of snowfalls already.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, Massachusetts is projected to get snow Monday as well. So,
Oh boy.
I guess kind of shifting gears now into basically, so at the moment you think Detroit can be a potential home for you. You seem very comfortable there, and obviously playing with Detroit Honey Baked, I'm sure it's obviously grown onto you a little bit that you respect the state and appreciate, all the stuff there. So basically, what would it mean if you were potentially drafted by the Detroit Red Wings? Do you think that would, hit home a little bit harder than, say, drafted by another team?
Yeah, I mean, it'd kind of be ironic, it'd be crazy. I move out here last year and I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. It'd be actually be hilarious. But, I mean, drafted by any NHL team would be an honor, especially Detroit being the great city it is and the atmosphere that place. I went to that game and it was amazing. So just being drafted by that team would definitely hit home a little bit because I've been here, or maybe Washington maybe would hit home a little bit more.
Yep.
Growing up a huge fan of them, but Detroit would be an unreal city to play for too.
Yeah, and maybe I would say like guys like Dylan Larkin, Jacob Verana, Danny DeKaiser, if he's still around. I don't know.
Tyler Bertuzzi, he's a stud.
Yeah, he's really good.
And Hronek, I would say like you would have a good guys around, and like Grand Rapids. Shout to my couple of friends who are Grand Rapids Griffins fans, and watch out for Charlie next year, I guess. So.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Kind of like your personal your personal self. So you're compared to as Matt Barzal from the New York Islanders. Are you most likely a pass first type of a player, or are you most likely like a shoot and pass like a two-way player like Barkov or Bergeron or Kopitar, guys like that?
Yeah, I definitely consider myself. I mean, Matt Barzal is kind of generous. That's a great comparison. I love that one. But I don't know if I give myself Matt Barzal, but I think I'm definitely more of a two-way guy. I could say I'm a playmaker, but I play that 200-foot game, the defensive and offensive zone, all three zones. I'm a hard worker, but I feel like when it comes down to it, I'm more of like a playmaker. I kind of read it, but I guess I could say I'm more of a pass first guy. Being last year at Honey Baked, I don't know if I had too many goals. I think I was definitely more dominantly getting the assists last year. But I mean, honestly, as long as the puck ends up in the back of the net and we get the win at the end of the day, I really couldn't care. It wouldn't matter to me. Goal, assist, no point. As long as we get that win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
First attitude, I like that.
Yeah. Here's a good one, and Grant, I'll let you if you have more left, that'd be great. When you got the call that you got selected into the U.S. National Team Development Program, were there any notable NHL players that came to mind that came on the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the history of the program, and when I got the opportunity to sign, it kind of hits you. It doesn't really hit you until you really, you turn that contract in. It's crazy. Like if you go to USA Arena around the rank, they have posters of all the big guys that have gone through. Obviously the Jack Eichels, the Austin Matthews, the Patrick Kanes, the Brady Kachucks, the Hughes brothers, the Clayton Keller, all these guys that have gone through the program, and it kind of just reminds you that the history that it has, and then the success it has of producing those such high level guys. And I mean, there's a ton of guys in the NHL that have played for the program, and I think it's a great spot for developing guys to achieve that goal.
Yeah. Grant, I guess do you have a couple more?
Yes, I actually have two more. So we know Wayne Gretzky's quote is, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Well, Charlie, what is the most inspiring quote you would say to a younger athlete or just anyone in general? Like, do you have a go-to quote, go-to mindset?
I guess I'm definitely not a cocky guy, but when I think of a quote that just gets me going, like fired up, I guess you can, Deion Sanders being who he is, the huge football fan, like my family has a football background. The look good, feel good, play good, pay good. I think that's
There
one
you
of the most
go.
quotes. I think that one, if I could tell someone that, just the confidence, believing in yourself. Or I think I just did a project on one. It was like, if you don't believe in yourself, how's someone else going to believe in you? That's a really good one. Just, on the mental side of the game, just having the confidence in order to produce on a nightly basis and allowing your teammates and coaches to trust you too.
Yeah, like for me, Charlie.
Yeah, I think that is a fantastic mindset.
Yeah, and Charlie, for me as a hockey player who plays for Harco right now, like for me, if I would like say anything, which I pretty much said to all my school buddies, we do on a group project or something, I usually say show some confidence. Like think about the mindset if you're presenting. Think about the past work you've been doing and look what kind of good grades have you been producing and think of making good decisions because we've done an English project for me and I've talked about Alex Ovechkin like his responsibilities to the game for me and like how he like outcame from himself like before he played hockey and why he's like a major star to this league.
Yeah, definitely. I think the confidence thing and the mental side of it goes for everything. Whether it's in school, on the ice, or whatever you're doing in life. I think just having that outlook on life is a great thing.
And I guess kind of my go-to quote, being, hopefully being a future analyst or broadcaster for me would probably be stay on your right path. I mean, to me, that's what you got to do. You got to focus on one goal and you just got to try to do everything to get to that point. You got to try it. You got to try really hard to get to that destination. So that's kind of my mindset, my quote I would go for just in general. But I guess we could certainly end off this fantastic interview with the question, maybe Alex will relate, maybe he won't. As a Bruins fan, I'll stay out of this one. But obviously, Charlie, growing up in Maryland, you got to give us your favorite Washington Capitals moment. You just got to.
This is a tough one. I mean, I've watched so many videos on the past moments, and obviously you have the iconic Ovechkin goal, the one where he's falling over his back. But to be honest with you, I think the moment I felt the most chills because I watched it live, and you saw the most videos is when Kuzi scored the goal against the Pens in Game 6, I think it was the 5-hole, and he does the bird. He does the bird. Yeah. Everyone was going nuts, and that's the year they finally beat him, and then they went on to win the cup. I think that was the most iconic moment I've ever experienced, and it was unbelievable seeing him win that game. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I think that's great. You went with the Kuznetsov goal in Game 6 instead of going with, Brendan Hope's amazing save in Game 2 or Lars Eller scoring the game-winning goal in Game 5. I think that's fantastic that your favorite Capitals moment was leading up to the Cup win because for me, I can kind of relate. My favorite my favorite moment as a Bruins fan, goodness, I'm 7 years old, watching Nathan Horton score the game-winning goal in Game 7 of the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals because to me, I'm down. I kind of agree with you that you got to respect the moments that got you to that championship win. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean,
I definitely respect your answer.
Yeah, the Bruins have had maybe a little bit more success than the Caps have in the past, but I guess you have more of a list to choose from. But yeah, I think that was definitely my favorite moment.
Yeah, I think that's great, and we do speak highly of Kuznetsov, and obviously Alex being a Capitals fan, we like to talk about the Capitals a lot, and yeah, that's good. That's a good answer.
Yeah, and also got two more. Has anyone recognized you as a USA hockey athlete? Like, do you be recognized in Maryland or Michigan?
I mean, if I'm walking around in the street or something and I got like normal clothes on, I mean, no one in Maryland will know, obviously. Michigan, not really. I mean, if you're walking around the rink or if you're walking in public and you got your coat on, like USA gives us some gear to wear. So if you got your USA, obviously someone will come up to you here and there and ask, like, do you play for the program? Like, do you know these kids? I mean, every once in a while it happens, but not really too often, especially in Maryland. It's never happened before, but it doesn't happen as much as maybe someone would think.
Yeah. And last question. Kind of going back to USA hockey. What was it like playing your first game as a USA hockey player?
It was, I mean, I was so nervous because it was, my first game, but it was crazy. I mean, just the emotions you get and coming back from injury, especially, just finally being back after those 3 long months. I think it was really just surreal, just playing the game you love again. I mean, it was and playing for your country. There's really nothing better than it than that first game back, and especially, yeah, I guess you can say that first goal or the first play or whatever. Then, but there's nothing better than that first game.
Yeah, and one thing I realized, like Detroit Honey Baked. So on the U.S. program, like where they say like like something about like introduce yourself basically. The Detroit Honey Baked was your best moment under 15 national championship, which we pretty much got to it, but like kind of like break it down. What was it like winning it all with the Honey Baked team?
I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, being such a long year, such an up and down year with COVID and all the shutdowns and I mean those guys really did become my brothers. I have so many close friends from that team, and I'm lucky enough to still play with a few of those kids on the program now. But just the long year it was, the ups and downs, and being able to come together that final week of the year and come out with the win was just unbelievable. And I mean that was the best feeling I've had on the ice ever. It was amazing, just winning it with your family.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll end it with a last question. And Grin, I gave you a good question. How about you'll fire it away with a good last question?
Sure. So, last question. So Charlie, obviously being a young junior hockey player, you've done a fantastic job so far. But before you get out, we gotta know your hockey Mount Rushmore. Who you got on there and why?
Oh boy. Obviously, you got to put Wayne Gretzky up there.
Right.
You got to put Crosby up there. Obviously, as much as I hate to say that, I mean, I personally think Ovechkin's got to be up there, the greatest goal scorer of all time. You have to put him up there. I mean, he's gonna. I think he's gonna break the record. You have to put him up there. I don't know if you put like a Mario Lemieux, and then I want to say, obviously, it's way too early to tell, but maybe because I'm such a, I've only watched hockey since I was born, obviously. Connor McDavid, the impact he's made on the game. You can't put him up there yet, but I'd say maybe 5, 6, 7 years down the road, when he's more Crosby's age, I say you definitely put him up there if he keeps up the pace he's at, which is unbelievable. I would say that's my modern top 5.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that's interesting. You didn't add defenseman or goalie, but I can't disagree with what you said. Though that was a very good list.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little biased with the forwards, but
Of course.
Yeah.
True, yeah. All right, guys. So that's gonna wrap up for the first ever Powerskateshow interview. Charlie, thank you guys. Thank you for coming in here on the interview. We're pretty much happy that we finally have an interview after a year and a half, almost 2 years of Powerskateshow existence and 4 seasons. We finally have you as our first interview.
Yeah, of course. When a couple of hometown guys, hop on here. Of course, I gotta. Oh, anytime, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Really appreciate it, Charlie. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and with that, do you guys want to follow our personal social media accounts? Links will be in the description below. Do you guys want to follow the Powerskateshow for news, updates, and when we will go live and all that good stuff? Links will be in the description below. Follow Grant on his Instagram, Franchise Sports News, for regular sports news like he always does. And check out my YouTube channel and my Instagram. The links will be in the description below. I just posted a new YouTube video, so hopefully you guys will check it out as well. And follow Charlie on his Instagram if you guys would like to give a follow. Charlie, what is your Instagram for all the people who's watching?
The Insta is Charlie _Cerrato if you guys want to hit me up with a follow.
Yes. And also follow the U.S. National Team Development Program's Instagram and the regular USA Hockey Instagram. And everything will be in the description below. And with that, Grant, would you like to anything before we head off?
No, I mean, of course, you gotta go make sure you follow Power Skate, myself, Alex, and then obviously Charlie. And, go shoot Charlie over a DM tonight or tomorrow morning. Be like, just really emphasize, how much you enjoyed the interview. Tell him what was what was your favorite question, what was your favorite answer, and whatnot. And again, doing the podcast for about a year and a half now, it was great finally for both Alex and I to finally get an interview under our belts here on the show. And again, Charlie, we cannot thank you enough for this fantastic opportunity. So it was a great time. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and with that, tell all your friends, USA Hockey, follow everything, and DM Charlie that you've enjoyed it. And with that, we will see you guys on our next regular podcast, and we'll just have an amazing time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody.